Hi, my name is Bruce Powell. I'm the lead engineer for SpaceOps at Wunderlich-Malec Engineering, and I'm excited to give you a sneak peek at the technology behind SpaceOps. First, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I started my journey as a PLC and SCADA engineer doing PLC programming and sensor integration, as well as data transport to the graphic user interface and graphic user interface at the SCADA level. I was introduced to IoT while I was working and going to school for my bachelor's degree. And I took some classes at UNLV, and then I did some projects, and I was really excited to see the application of IoT to the traditional industrial automation sphere. And so that transition for me from PLC engineer to IoT engineer was really organic. SpaceOps is a cloud-based IoT program where we are gathering local occupancy data for a site. We are transporting that data to the cloud. We are storing it in the cloud. And we are using a web graphic user interface in order to visualize reports on the occupancy data. The platform that we selected to run SpaceOps was a decision that we considered a lot of options, and we ultimately landed on Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services is a robust and feature-rich set of tools that you can use for a variety of types of projects. In this case, we are focused heavily on compute resources and IoT Core. AWS IoT Core allows you to register all of your individual sensors or your gateways as things, which are a logical set of information about a specific item. Things can be used to lock down security. They can be used to house data, the latest runtime data. There's also a rules engine that can be used to forward or send data or notifications to a number of different AWS services. So IoT Core really is the heart here, and we are using a significant number of the functions in IoT Core, including things shadows, SNS, and the rules engine. For data acquisition, there's a number of different companies that currently produce smart building components. We selected Pressac. Pressac is a smart building component manufacturer out of the United Kingdom, and they had some really neat and cost-effective and feature-rich devices. So we selected Pressac, and we're using the Pressac under-desk sensor and the conference room sensor. These sensors are small, unobtrusive, stick-on battery-powered sensors that communicate wirelessly via the Enotion protocol to the Pressac gateway. The Pressac gateway is a great little device that has a number of connectability options, such as direct-to-cloud options for IoT Core, Azure IoT Hub, IBM Watson, and it even has a direct connector to Google Sheets. It also is capable of doing MQTT, which was more interesting to us because of some specific security requirements that the customer had. They didn't allow data transport except for in very specific conditions, and those specific conditions were met by another partner called Connectside. The Connectsoft Unicom Edge is an industrial PC-based appliance that is able to communicate with a number of BMS controllers that talk over BACnet or LAN or Modbus. It also is able to communicate via MQTT, which makes it a great partner for the Pressac gateway. The Unicom Edge packages all of the devices together, all of the device data together into a single data stream that is AES 256 encrypted. That data stream lands in the cloud at that container that I was talking about that Connectsoft provided, the Unicom Fargate service. The Fargate service then decrypts and depackages the data and is able to strip off occupancy data to send it to IoT Core, and the building data goes off to a graphic user interface for the building management folks. Once the data lands at IoT Core, it is used to update the thing metadata if necessary, which metadata doesn't change very often, so the thing metadata is only updated when necessary. And it also uses an IoT Core rule engine to update the shadows, the thing shadow where the latest runtime data is stored, And then that data is then sent off to an AWS Time Stream database. AWS Time Stream is a time series database that is very scalable, and it has a very high availability and performance. And it can help save you money if you have a high volume of data coming in, especially if after a certain amount of time, either the data is unused or is rarely accessed. The whole point behind Time Stream or AWS Time Stream is that recent data is readily accessible in memory, and then long-term data gets stored in a more cost-effective solution. Time Stream is also accessible by any number of BI tools that are able to do a SQL-like query language, and that way you can write or generate reports as necessary for your application. Once the data is in Time Stream, we also query and make reports off of it. We are using a code set that we built in AWS Lambda. Lambda is a serverless code platform that allows you to upload code and then invoke it without having to worry about the platform that it's running on, patching, all of that, which takes time and money to maintain. The code that we have is invoked to run and generate these reports that are then stored in OpenSearch, which is an easily queryable portal for like a web server like we're using. Our web server then uses those reports to then display graphics such as the number of people over a course of an hour that were in the building, the number of desks that were occupied during that time, a daily report of conference room occupancy. You may see that a number of conference rooms are less than 100% occupied, and then you could package meetings across those conference rooms that are less occupied and possibly eliminate a conference room or repurpose one for another usage. Just a good and efficient use of space. The web server authenticates via the customer's SSO using some Windows authentication and some grouping in order to allow specific users to view, other users to modify, and more users to administer. So that sign-in can be via any customer SSO. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you'll stick around for part 3 when we talk with the vendors. They'll go into more detail about the PressAct sensors and gateway and the Unicom Edge and Unicom Fargate service. Thank you.